And that beat is just, I love that song. Love that song. Shout out to Akira the Don. Welcome, everyone, to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. My name's Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts of the show. To my Dustin's not here again. Dustin's on vacation. He's in the mountains of I would say a mid-Atlantic state. I'll just leave it at that. But he's had himself a good time getting away from the world for a bit. But it's well-deserved time off for him. As for me, I'm carrying on the show. Last night was our NHL preseason show with Brent and Dan, so I want to thank them personally. I want to thank them for joining me, talking some hockey as the season starts tonight in the NHL. But tonight is all about the NFL, particularly Week 5 of the NFL. I'm going to bring in my guests in just a moment. But before we do that, just want to let you know to please follow us on social media. Follow us on these particular social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also find many of our podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast where you will listen to podcasts. And that includes platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, our YouTube page, and our host, which is Podbean. And hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube so you know when the show goes live, when there are videos that go up on our YouTube channel, and when there are general show announcements. Shout out Robin Shabatsky. on the podcast side, rate, review, comment. 5-star ratings are helpful. Leave a review on platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Good Pods. On Spotify, leave a comment. You could also leave a comment below tomorrow. That's tomorrow afternoon. This show will be live on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. It'll be a replay. So leave a comment below. What was your biggest disappointment? What was your favorite game from Week 5 of the NFL? All that stuff. Leave a comment. Leave a like. All that good stuff. And because we're a live show, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, we want to hear from you in the comments. I can see we got a comment already from the audience member. So I just want to play this as a gentle reminder. I know Dustin's not here, but it's no matter which one of us are here, it's always a great time to play this chime. It is chime time. And Victor Locke checking in saying hello to the gents of No Credentials Required, Mr. Dustin Henry in the Internationalist Irish Italiano Supervillain Espresso McCoffee. Well, Dustin's not here tonight, Victor, but I'm going to bring in my guest. He is the host of the Korner Booth Podcast, and he's also rumored to be the guy Taylor Swift is referring to her in her new album, Diaries of a Showgirl, as Redwood. Jared, how we doing tonight, buddy?
I'm out of here. Night. All right. God, I don't want to be anywhere synonymous with that album. Oh, gross.
Yeah.
That I gotta ask somebody like what the definition of cringe is and how much that whole album is. But it's what I try to avoid like cringy stuff as much as possible in my daily life. So now I had to like the fact that our social media guys have been using that song for all of our posts has literally been the death sentence of my eardrums. But it's okay. Ryan, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you filling in for my co-host Dustin. He's out somewhere in the mountains of a mid-Atlantic, undisclosed mid-Atlantic state, but I know he's here in spirit. I've been texting him back and forth. He was excited yesterday when the news of Connor McDavid extending his time in Edmonton for at least 2 more seasons. So he's a big Edmonton Oilers fan. So with hockey season beginning, it was a big show announcement yesterday. So we're going to start off with Week 5 of the NFL. We're going to talk about Week 5 of the NFL. This is the entire program is all about. We're going back to the NFL. We're going to talk about our game of the week of the year. This is the time when we get to talk about the games that we enjoyed the most this week on in NFL Week 5. I know it was definitely was not the Jets and Cowboys. I can tell you that for sure. It was not Jerry Jones telling either Cowboys fans or Jets fans that they were number one. I don't know if you heard that story this afternoon, Jared, but let's talk about the game of the week of the year. The best game you thought of that was you thought that it was from this week in the NFL. So go ahead. What's your game of the week of the year in week 4?
I am going to say Seahawks and Buccaneers. Final score 38-35. Another game-winning drive from Baker. First NFL team ever for all 4 wins to be led on a game-winning drive to start the season. Both him and Darnold dueled it out. They were phenomenal in a battle of 2018 draft pick rejects. And, they're both having great MVP caliber seasons. So, got to show them a lot of respect. They played phenomenal. And, shout out to JSN for keeping my fantasy team afloat. My receiving core has been a nightmare this year. And both teams are going to be playoff teams. And obviously I'll touch on that later. But that was one of the big things. Both these teams are tier 1 or at least high tier 2 rosters. Like, they both play great.
Yeah, it was too bad that the game had to end that way for the Seahawks with Darnold's throw going off the helmet of a Buccaneer and landing in the arms of Demonte David, and which should basically set up the game-winning field goal. Because watching on Red Zone, the late afternoon games, I still have a problem with the NFL how they schedule things. So many, they front load everything. They front load their games 1:00 games, and they leave basically spare just crumbs for the 4:00, 4:25 crowd. But some of these afternoon games in week 5 were incredible.
I argue the better games were not in the 1:00 slot this week. We actually got kind of lucky.
No, you're absolutely right. Tampa, Seattle was a great game. Tennessee, Arizona. I'll talk about that in just a moment, but that was a great ending. Washington Chargers, that was a solid game. Although you could argue that Washington dominated that game, but the Chargers had their chances, but they just couldn't capitalize on them. So you're definitely right in the fact that there's definitely the 4:25, 4:00 games. They were much better in week 5. But any more thoughts about this Seahawks game?
It's crazy because the Seahawks is such a good roster. They really got after in the offseason about fixing up their defense. And honestly, we thought what the one hinge pin was, what are they getting on offense? The running backs are playing phenomenal. I do think they're going to need to go get a secondary help in the receiving area. I think leaving JSN and Island by himself is not smart going forward. But you clearly see that Darnold is making the throws. I cannot remember the kid's name for me. Torrey something. The rookie receiver that's going ballistic right now. I can't remember the kid's name for the life of me, but he's playing great. It's not Frank
or Arroyo.
Yeah, no, Arroyo's the trust me, I know who Arroyo is. No, he's a tight end. I can't remember the kid's name right now. Horton, that's his name.
Okay.
Yeah, Horton's been playing great. I do think they need to go out and maybe get a receiver from one of these bottom feeder teams that's going to probably be out of the playoff run within about, I'd say, 2 weeks. I'd say mid-October they're going to be out of the playoff runs. They start dealing. I think that would be the best bet, but I think both teams are phenomenal. I think that Tampa's only going to get better as Godwin gets more acclimated. Mike Evans comes back. Ibuka is just going ballistic. So,
yeah, this was a solid game throughout. And anytime you have Kevin Harlan on a call,
oh yeah,
it's going to be a great game. It's guaranteed.
Him and Gus Johnson, it's just ooze energy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They make paint drying seem exciting. Yeah. So my game of the week of the year, it was last night's Chiefs-Jaguars game. I'll say it. I mean, I didn't watch the game.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, I didn't watch the game because I was recording last night's NHL preseason show to watch on the No Credentials Required channel. Ding. It's also on the Belly Up and Friends on the podcast side on Belly Up and Friends as well. So check it out there. Ding.
Should we explain to the people at home why you and me are saying ding?
It's
king of self promo.
Shameless self promo.
Me and on my show, Korner Booth Podcast, ding. Me and McCarthy have come to the conclusion he's the king of self promotion. So we now have a chat. We now have a ticker every time McCarthy plugs a show, which we encourage all people come on our show to plug their stuff. Literally, we give them the time to do it. If you plug it during the show, even better. So we love it, but it's also in good natured fun because McCarthy, you are the king.
Thank you. I'm also a shameless promoter of Belly Up products too. All of our affiliations, like we'll have a sponsor later in the show, but we'll get to it in just a moment. But game of the week of the year for me was last night's Chiefs Jaguars game, and I watched the highlights this morning. Lots of exciting plays during the course of the game. Travis Hunter climbing the ladder, get that big catch, but last season, this game would have been a blowout because the Jaguars were terrible. I mean, granted, they had talent. They just were poorly coached.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say what it is. Let's just talk about what it is. Coaching matters. Coaching matters in every league, including the NFL. And as I mentioned on the last episode, No Credentials Required, I said that the Jaguars defense, actually I've said the last two shows, the Jaguars defense has been the biggest reason for the turnaround this year. Other than coaching, this defense has been phenomenal over the first 5 weeks of the year. And Devin Lloyd, you want to talk about a guy who is going to be defensive player of the year candidate, right? He's the defensive player of the year so far right now. 4 interceptions, had that 99-yard pick six last night against the Chiefs, against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. You don't see that. You don't see the Chiefs turn the ball over a whole lot, nor do you see them turn the ball over that leads to an immediate touchdown, immediate score. Yeah. So Devin Lloyd is a special player. And it's just a shame that he has 4 turnovers alone, and the New York Jets don't have any in 5 weeks.
So, cool stat. The Jaguars all season last year only had 9 turnovers. Through 5 weeks, they forced 14 already.
Yep.
Wild. Also, they're staying to the run. They're being true to who they are as a team. We saw a subtle emergence of Brian Thomas Jr. finally last night. Yep. Like I said on the Korner Booth Podcast, by the way, I predicted that. I said there's no way in hell he's going to stay dormant for this long. No. I'm not a believer in fantasy busts. I think injuries and bad coaching is the reason players bust. If you have talent, it'll somehow come through at the end. So there you go. Brian Thomas Jr., who I think has talent to be a top 10 receiver in the league, came through last night. But yeah, this game was sensational from soup to nuts. Like I started watching it about 5 minutes in, did not turn it off the entire night. First Monday Night Football game I've done that in probably a few weeks.
Yeah, and I also have positive question to our audience and to you, Jared.
Yeah,
the Chiefs are 2-3. Are we starting to slowly watch the downfall of the kingdom? Because this is not the same Chiefs team that we've been seeing since 2018, and everybody just slowly has been seemingly figuring this team out. I mean, last week we saw them absolutely boat race the Baltimore Ravens. Granted.
But that
half their lineup is that team quit. Also, half that team is injured. So
they're already talking about Cancun and golfing.
On 3.
The best way I can answer that question, Ryan, is this. There was a quote by Chris Canty today. I can't remember what program he was on.
Probably he goes, "There's a Geo."
Yeah, he was talking about they have like $50 million like contracts, but like $50 million names, but they're giving like $20 million. I paraphrasing the effort. Basically, the effort and the talent is not there anymore. I'm sorry, the AARP trio the AARP duo of Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, they ain't working. On that touchdown last night, you can go back on tape, you watch it. Chris Jones, who's always been very vocal the entire season about how he's still the baddest defensive tackle in the league, and I wouldn't put him in the top 5. Said that for years. You could see on the play when Lawrence falls down and then gets up, starts to stumble and run. Jones barely even gives an effort chasing him towards the corner. He's like walking and watching.
Yeah, he probably thought the play was over.
Yeah, and also, listen, but effort is effort, man. Ask Zach Bond how that goes. Then you go to Travis Kelce, who needed a illegal pick route from Juju to get open. So the Redwood could actually score a touchdown. So basically, that might be my new code name for the rest of the team. Like I call Shohei Ohtani the gambler, Travis Kelce, aka codename Redwood. I think I got to do that. I think just for the folks at home, for the comedy purposes of it, I think I have to call him Redwood.
Gotta call him Red. Everybody's gonna call him Redwood. He's probably running with it too.
Fringe football player in the league, like at least back before like the whole Taylor Swift Dynasty Chiefs thing, he was honestly kind of just goofy. And but like, dude, like the fake tough guy I was explaining this to some, like, this girl I'm talking to, like we're talking about the Chiefs, and I said, listen, like why I hate them is because of the fake tough guy attitude, but then they go complain for calls. That is what drives me nuts. If you go and play tough, you be tough. Like Philadelphia, as much as it is, yes, it is my team. They don't complain about calls. They know they'll just be like, man, what the hell? And they'll walk away. Like, but they play tough guy football. Like we've seen it for the past 2 years in a row under 5 years in a row under Sirianni. So, and there's obviously other instances you can go to, go down south with the Buccaneers, total tough guy football. You can go out west with the Chargers until all the injuries, very rough physical football. It's just, it's this whole, like they expect the calls to go their way. It's very much, oh, we're the new dynasty. They were manufactured. This was totally manufactured by the NFL. Yes, the talent had to win the games and the coaching, but the NFL saw an opportunity to greenlight a new like dynasty, and the NFL and like the Chiefs were like, all right, bet we'll take the opportunity. But to the rest of the league, they take it as a challenge. I think it's why it's failed. I think the Chiefs are going to get every team's best, and it's not like the psychological warfare that Brady and Belichick had, where they were waiting for you to make the mistakes. Now, the Chiefs are the one making the mistakes, and that's why they lose. So I think that mantle of making the mistakes has been passed down to the Bills and Eagles, who are, I guess, now the two premier teams in the AFC. I mean, the AFC and NFC. You could throw in a couple more. We'll talk on that obviously later. But even last night, the Bucs made the Jags made the mistakes, but then the Chiefs also made mistakes. It was balanced. So, and the better team won.
Yep, and Jaguars were the better team. Even though they bumbled and stumbled and rumbled, bumbled and stumbled on the way to the end zone, but they still won the game.
They don't ask how McCarthy. They ask how many.
Just ask how many. Exactly. Which is going to lead us to our next segment, the biggest upset of the week. And this is going to sound weird because I had this game as my self-hatred game of the week. This is the week that nobody is going to watch these two teams play. Not even the hardcores. But Titans-Cardinals. Not going to lie.
Did you see my response? I just agreed.
Yeah, agreed. But this game was entertaining because, look, I paid attention to it on Red Zone. You know, I need something to cheer. I needed good football to cheer me up after watching the game. And I'll talk about the Jets about another time on my other show. Just endure the suffering. Ding. But the Cardinals, man, this team when they jump out to a big lead, they go on cruise control too much. Way too much and way too often. And I noted a few weeks ago on this very program, the Cardinals, they gave up a big lead to the Panthers late and almost came back to bite them. And I said, this is going to be a team that they get too comfortable on offense, they get too comfortable on defense, and it's going to come back to bite them. And it happened like in this game against a team that was, up until this week, absolute dog water in the Tennessee Titans.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you call about Kurt. Can I say the AASS word on this show?
It's FCC. Sure, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Cam Ward, superstar rookie quarterback of the Titans, said it best. I'm gonna keep it a buck. We ask like that. That's the best way to sum up the Titans so far this year. So, completely agree.
Yeah.
If you indulge me here, I mean, unless you guys make a point.
I got more. But just like another team with a bird nickname, we'll talk about that in a moment. This Cardinals team collapsed, and it started with that inexplicable fumble at the goal line by Emery DeMercado. He rips off a 52-yard run. It's 21-6 at this point. This game is over if he crosses that goal line with the ball. And just like Adonai Mitchell did a week ago in Los Angeles, just
or
like
Chad Powers.
Or Chad Powers or Malachi Corey last year against Houston on Halloween.
Deshaun Jackson.
Or Deshaun Jackson.
The OG of OGs.
Fumbles. He just celebrates too soon. The ball doesn't cross the goal line. It goes out of bounds for a touchback. And that was the catalyst that set off the comeback. Tony Pollard gets a TD run. Then we had that wacky sequence where Cam Ward throws a pass, gets deflected, winds up in the arms of a defender, Dadrian Taylor Damerson, who falls, then fumbles. Then the ball gets knocked around, goes to the end zone. Tyler Lockett, shout out to my co-host Dustin, good old Tyler Lockett, longtime Seattle Seahawk. Falls in the football. It's a touchdown. Crazy sequence. Then the Titans defense, they stepped it up when they needed to step it up.
Yeah.
Give them credit. They give it 21 points in the first half, but they locked it down in the second half. They created plays where the Cardinals couldn't do anything. Yeah. Kyler Murray was locked up. The offense was locked up. They just couldn't find their footing. They couldn't find their footing again after that fumble. It just seemed that all the air was sucked out of them. They go on a short drive. Titans get the ball back. And I got to say, I know you're a big Cam Ward guy.
Yeah.
He threw some dimes in this game.
Yeah.
Absolute dimes. That one pass to
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, thank you. And then one pass to Unconquo to set up that kept the drive going, got the game-winning field goal at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals were a 7.5-point favorite going into this game. And whoever had them in their eliminator pool, they are seething mad. They will never pick the Cardinals again in their eliminator pool. Man. But yeah, and that was a heck of a comeback by the Titans. They get their first win of the season. So good for them, because up until that point, I will say though, I did go back and look at the game logs for the Titans. They're getting better. I mean, I don't know if they're getting better, their offensive line's getting better, or Cam Ward's pocket presence is getting better, because the only way
column A, column B, column C.
Column A, column B. But he played really well in this game. He didn't have a passing touchdown, had that one interception, but that one interception turned into points after that fumble. So, but I gotta give credit where credit's due to Cam Ward. Gotta give credit where credit's due to that Titans defense for locking it down in the second half and giving their team opportunities to take away this game and get the big upset and the big win, because that's a confidence builder not only for Cam Ward, but it's a big confidence builder for Brian Callahan, even though I don't think he's going to be coached by the end of the season. But stranger things have happened in the NFL.
So all I'll add to this is, one, the Cardinals to me are basic. So everyone remembers Super Bowl 57. Yeah, Super Bowl 57, Eagles, Chiefs. Yep. Everyone remembers Eagles had a 10-point lead at half and then blew it because Jonathan Gannon was too concerned about his new job in Arizona when Cardinals got nailed for tampering, instead of actually focusing on a game plan and adjusting. Jonathan Gannon's MO has always been the same thing. If he gets up on a lead, it's the safest time to attack his defense, because you've seen it now multiple times where he'll sit back on his heels and call defense basically just don't give up the big play. You don't need to hit the big play if you have the patience to keep dinking and dunking it. Ask Florida State, because Miami did the same thing on Saturday, gave me a damn heart attack. And then you go about Philadelphia, they did the same thing to Denver last week. So it's this week. So it's, when are NFL teams going to learn? The safe prevent defense, all it does is prevent you from winning. In reality, it only stops a Hail Mary, and that's only sometimes. The only other thing I want to bring up is DeMarcado, after this fumble, was being consoled and silent by one of his offensive linemen, and Jonathan Gannon struck him on the chest plate. He's been reported now, I believe there's Schefter reported it, $100,000 fine from the Cardinals. That's a big fine. I'm surprised there's not more discipline from the PA, because he went after him. Like, it was not like a slap on the shoulder pad, maybe a shove, let's get back to it. No. He swung. Like, I think that we're going to see more about this. I don't know if we're going to get a suspension. We might have the NFL fining him. I'm not sure. I don't think we should see the end of this. I think this is a little more of a, like, I think the new week starts today. I mean, it starts tomorrow. I think we're going to see maybe a little more update on maybe Gannon gets suspended for a week. I don't know. This cannot be the only fine. You do not hit a player like that.
No,
slapping him on the back of the shoulder pad or bonking him on the helmet, fine. But you're actually legit going after this guy out of rage. It's not a good look. I'm surprised the PA hasn't made some kind of, like, the poor kid. He knew he messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like the moment of his life, and he's just like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
I also had Michael Carter on my team, so I wasn't complaining when he got more carries the rest of the game. But I will say, like, the poor kid did not deserve that. And I think this just shows the show. I mean, like, listen, I've been very critical of Jonathan Gannon from the second he blew the lead to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I've been waiting on his downfall, and this might be the start of it. I'm not sure. But
yeah,
I'm completely agree. This was the biggest upset of the week. The only one I can think of possibly comes near it is either Denver, Philly, or Buffalo and New England. But
yeah,
New England and Denver are both playoff teams, so it's not really that big of an upset.
No, it's not. Well, in your mind, New England's a playoff team, although
playoff adjacent.
Playoff adjacent. Bubble team. Bubble team.
Yes, bubble team. Like so is honestly to Denver to me because I think they're the fifth. But I think the big we can talk about because you're going to talk about a game, one of those games next, and so am I. And I have a very concerning point I want to make about Denver, Philadelphia that I think you'll be interested in. But
all right, well, actually, I did look it up, and Gannon did apologize to DeMercado. I mean, it's still 100,000, but he's apologizing not because he was genuinely sorry, but he's apologizing because he got caught and he got fined.
He got reprimanded, so he had to apologize. It's like you hit your sister, and I got to apologize. Your parents make you apologize when you're a little kid, and then you're like, oh, you only got caught. That's the reason. But anyway, continue. I'm sorry, I'm going on random rants now.
That's okay. All right, we're gonna move on. And Hercules. Now let's talk about some disappointment, and let's bring in Hercules for this one. This one team left us this way. Disappointed. Thank you, Hercules. The biggest disappointment from week 5, and Jared, I know you're champing at the bit for this one, so I'm gonna have you lead off here.
Well, so I said it was originally the Buffalo Bills because I don't, as much as I want to go at my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, when there's other forces at play for why you lose, I can't put all the blame solely on you. They deserve to lose, but how they lost was the most like, really? Oh, damn it. But it's actually, I think this is the best case scenario for Philadelphia if they lost on Sunday. I'll explain in a minute. But my biggest disappointment is the Buffalo Bills. A loaded roster, a solid defense, playing at home. Actually, no, wait, they were in New England, weren't they?
No, they were at home. And they had their brand spanking new rivalry uniforms.
The white uniforms threw me off for a second. They had the rivalry uniforms on.
Who they copied from the Minnesota Vikings, but go ahead.
It's prime time. This is what your team's built for. Their offense looked inept. It looked out of sync. Yes, I get it. Vrabel's defense is not a slouch, but they were giving up throws to May. There was turnovers. The game was sloppy. It was a rough, ugly, nasty game. And this is supposed to be the AFC favorite. Right now, I got to go with Indiana Jones and the Colts for my favorite, the AFC right now, because I'm sitting there looking like, really? This is the best you could do, Buffalo? Like, I thought we looked sloppy in the second half. Buffalo made us look like world beaters. I was like, huh? It was honestly, the fact of the matter is, I got so bored watching all the sloppy football. I opened my computer up and started doing a job application because I was like, at least I have something that's going to make my brain work while I'm watching this. Because it was like brain rot. It was like, oh, another turnover. Oh, a punt. I'm like, oh, God, it's like watching Big Ten football between Iowa and freaking Wisconsin.
Ugh.
So that's my point about that game. It was just the game was disappointing. The play of Buffalo was disappointing. I went back and looked at Drake May's numbers. He wasn't even that good. It was just like he did just enough to win, which we praised Jalen Hurts for, but it wasn't like he went up against some world beaters on defense. Like the Buffalo defense is like top 15, top 20. I don't know. It's just everything about the game. I like the Buffalo uniforms. I thought they were pretty cool, but I thought they just wow was their effort. That's the best way I can summarize it. It was like, oh,
sad trombone.
Yeah. I need like the SpongeBob sound effects board right here.
I'm not a fan of the rivalry uniforms. The only one I really kind of dug was the Cardinals. But
yeah, basically it's like a knockoff of the Diamondbacks desert unis. But
I mean, they look kind of like a tortilla, like running around looking like tortillas. That's what, and a cool helmet. That's what it basically came down to. But these rivalry uniforms, I'm not a fan.
I like Miami's, but then they're just a knockoff of the Hurricanes blackout unis.
It's a black uniform and a black helmet. Ooh,
like I said, it literally they just slapped a new coat of green on the Hurricanes uniform.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The 49ers did it. It's just, I don't like it.
49ers ones are
it's for the kiddies. That's what it is. Basically what it is. My biggest disappointment, Jared, I'm gonna have to do this, but I'm gonna have to jump on your team for this one, and I'm pretty sure you're okay with it. The Eagles, especially the defense, and every one of us in the Billy Up Sports realm.
I knew we were done at that point.
We do picks every week for college. We do picks every week for the NFL, and every single one of us had the Eagles winning this game. And they were doing their job. They were up 17-3 in the fourth quarter. And let me just say, the Broncos, they made us eat our lunch. And this was one of those games where it was a both and game. It's both. The Broncos defense was flexing their muscle, and the Eagles offense is showing its problems right now. But some encouragement for the Eagles fan, including you, Jared. I remember this at this point last year. The Eagles were having share of troubles on offense. Nick Sirianni was giving the fans were giving it to Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni was giving it back to the fans. And then what happened? They ran the table.
Let me ask the Super Bowl ring that's somewhere on my desk.
Yeah. They ran the table all the way to New Orleans and won it all. Won it all. They figured it out. But the defense was the biggest disappointment in this game.
Yeah,
up 17-3 in the fourth quarter. They're committing weird penalties. That Bond penalty where it was kind of touchy.
He's still in motion. I will talk about that in a minute. You continue. I'm sorry,
but yeah, give up the big penalties and then just basically laying down. And I gotta say though, the balls on Sean Payton to go for 2 to take the lead, that showed a lot. That showed a lot of gusto. That showed a grapefruit-sized testiculars on that to go for 2, get the 2, and then go up a field goal with less than a minute left to just basically end the game because he knows what his defense is doing. And the fact that Van Joseph was allowed back in Denver after his disastrous coaching job, but he's a defensive coordinator. I think he's more comfortable as a defensive coordinator. He's showing Denver I can still draw up a great defense, and they did it against a team that outgained them. That they were outgained in this game. The Broncos were outgained by the Eagles in this game, but the defense they took it to the Eagles, and the Eagles defense they kind of laid down the last quarter, and Bo Nix was the guy who helped break the dam, and they scored 18 points in that quarter and got the big W, headed to London to face my Jets on Sunday, which is going to be glad I'm going to church for that one. Let's just put it that way. But I know you got thoughts
I'll be in church as well. Don't worry.
All right. I know you got thoughts on your team, so I'll let you speak.
So here's the thing. And the kicker is the sloppy penalties. I agree with you. But some of these were so ticky-tacky. And the problem was I'm okay with ticky-tacky penalties if they're called both ways.
Right.
I'm not okay with it. I hate referees to begin with. I've said this since I started doing broadcasting. I think the worst thing for sports is refs with egos. I honestly think if you could find a way to train a robot to do it, it'd be more useful. But here's the thing. It's I watched in multiple plays where the Denver O-line got away with really blatant holds, and it was only Philadelphia getting nailed for them. There was ticky-tacky calls on back and forth, illegal motions where a guy was a half a second off, and I've seen guys let that run for it in games forever. And of the last two drives, I think were the worst offenders of them all. You have a blatant intentional grounding penalty that was picked up after 5 minutes. Weird, even though there was no guy within 10 yards or 15 yards of the throw. Then you have Zach Bond's penalty, which was so bang, bang. You really going to really screw the game over on that? The Eagles made the stop. And then last but not least, the pass interference on Dallas Goedert that was so blatant that even my mother, who's not the biggest football knowledge person, where she loves football, but she still knew it. She's even yelling that's pass interference because Goddard was tackled to the ground. Mm-hmm. Even if they call that, it's first and goal in the 3, with Eagles getting one more play left, and we're probably talking about Philadelphia surviving another week today. So, or at least getting a shot at it. So this is the big thing to me. It's the Eagles shouldn't have been in that situation. They're up 17-3. entering halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah.
You step on the gas, you put the game away, and then you go prevent defense. Because we've now seen this multiple times this week with the Cardinals, with the Hurricanes almost against the Florida State Seminoles, and of course with the Eagles, that you can't pull your foot off the gas. A good team will come back, especially led by Sean Payton. And you do not give, and there's an old line by Jimmy Johnson, you do not give the refs the opportunity to change the game. You take that away from the referees. In the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, what did the Eagles do? They beat them so bad, there was no way the refs could run that for the Chiefs, even if they wanted to, which they weren't. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but you took the game out of the referee's hands. That is what you're as an offensive defense, you are supposed to do that. When you leave a game into a referee's hands, you are never guaranteeing yourself a chance of winning. I had so the quick little side story. During baseball, I play adult league. We've talked about this before. Umpires would always ask me, I had a reputation in the league. I would never get to 3 strikes.
Mm-hmm.
And the umpire one time asked me, he goes, why do you always hack first, second strike, even if it's not even close strikes? I'm like, because I don't want my out being dictated by you or the pitcher. If I'm going to get out, it's going to be my fault. So, like, that's what I used to say. It's like, it worked because 80% of the time in the league, they lead off with a fastball. And if I could get under it or get on it, I'd get it in the outfield and get the ball moving. But same thing here. You want to take the play out of the referee's hands because you saw what happened. Philadelphia had multiple plays where it came down to the referees to make the call, and it went Denver's way. So, I think this is the best case scenario for the Eagles and worst case for the league. Best case for the league would have been Eagles survive, like a 3-point win. Everyone's just happy they got out of there alive. Worst case scenario for the league is what happened. Because now it's already coming out. Saquon, AJ, and Jalen had this offensive captains meeting. Apparently it was very positive discussion. Everyone was kind of on the same page. Patullo's doing press conferences with Hurts. I guess they're getting on the same page. And now they get to play New York on Thursday. And I feel bad for New York. The thing I'm most scared about isn't us winning the game. It's us getting out of there healthy because that stadium should be condemned. But aside from that, this is exactly what happened last year with the Tampa Bay and the Cleveland games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my rant here. I think the NFL, like those refs just did the NFL a huge dirty, because now the Eagles are going to be, in theory, more pissed off. That is my rant for the day. I had this rant actually on Xbox talking to my boys last night. Like, you should do that on the show. I'm like, I got to go on a show tomorrow. Hopefully McCarthy's ready for it.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
Oh my God.
Before we take our network mandated commercial break, let's go to the comments. We've got some comments in the comments section. Dr. Lady saying sports ball. She also said the biggest the biggest shock, the biggest upset was the Patriots beating the Bills. She's a Patriots fan, so there you go. Kevin says, what it is, Steelers were the big winners this week with the Ravens, Bungles, and Brownies all eating it. Yeah.
I'll give him that one. Good pick. Yeah. Good talk, Kev.
Dr. Lady saying, time to talk baseball. Does this look like a baseball diamond?
Yeah. Here's the thing: is like my team was eliminated about 3 weeks ago, and to be honest with you, as long as the Dodgers are still alive, baseball's dead to me. So nope.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stop caring if the Yankees lose tonight. That's for sure.
The Yankees lose.
Ugh.
Go Tigers.
I had Tigers. I have Tigers, Brewers in the World Series. So yeah, that's my World Series.
She just said go Dodgers. She's banned from the comment section.
No, she's from LA, so she's.
Oh, even worse. Ban her from the comment section. Send her comments.
Well, these two are married, so I'm pretty sure if I ban Dr. Lady, she'll get Kevin's phone and we'll start going.
Well, me and Kevin have had an argument before about the Dodgers and the listen, the Diamondbacks fan. My hatred of the Dodgers rivals my hatred of the Cowboys, my hatred of the Seminoles. So I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready. It's okay. I'll just bring up the 2023 NLDS.
All right. Kevin's saying the most bizarre game was the Cards Titans. Yes, we talked about that in our biggest upset. If you want to rewind and watch it again, Dr. Lady saying that the refs tried their hardest to give the game to the Bills from the Pats. Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch the game.
That was called pretty fair. I'm not gonna lie. That game was just sloppy. The refs couldn't do anything about it. That game was just so sloppy. It looked like a really bad college game early in the season.
Well, I didn't watch because I was out with some good friends of mine who were visiting from Atlanta. I did their vow renewal they did vow renewal. They got married in April in Atlanta, and then came up here because my friend, my good buddy, he's originally from this area, and his wife is from Atlanta. So they had the wedding in Atlanta in April around her birthday. Then they decided to do a vow renewal first weekend in October, right before his birthday, and I was the officiant for their vow renewals. So so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And me saying that if I ban Dr. Lady from the comment section, that she'll grab Kevin's phone and take control. And she says, "That's right, LOL." All right, we're gonna take our network mandated commercial break, but first, which is happening right now, actually. But let me go ahead and bring up our sponsor, which is, where are you? I know you're here. Dang it, I can't find the where is it?
Folks, we're having technical difficulties like the Dodgers will when they actually have a pressure pack system, not against the Yankees.
No, Ryan's just blind and can't find the actual logo he's looking for. There it is. I found it. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. There it is. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. Since 2011, they're the outlaw of the snack world. Forget the gas station stuff. This jerky is all natural, low sugar, and absolutely packed with flavor. Every 2-ounce bag delivers 20 grams of protein, made with beef that has no added hormones, no antibiotics, and no shady business. But jerky's just the beginning. Righteous Felon's lineup also includes beef sticks for on-the-go snacking, tender turkey jerky that's light but still packs the punch and tastes like a Thanksgiving dinner, and authentic South African-style biltong that melts in your mouth. Their flavors range from savory classics like the OG Hickory and Victorious B.I.G., which is our honey bourbon, to spicy kicks like Habanero Escobar and Carolina Reaper. So if you want, whether you want smooth, smoky, or fiery heat, they've got you covered. And don't forget, they even got Wild Ranger dog treats, so your four-legged sidekick can join the snack game too. So what you want to do is head over to righteousfelon.com, and you want to use the promo code NOCREDS, because yes, no credentials required is an affiliate sponsor. Righteous Felon is an affiliate sponsor of No Credentials Required. So use promo code NOCREDS at checkout. You get 15% off your order for every order. Plus, when you spend over $50, your shipping is free. Righteous is free. Free. The best four-letter word there is. Although there are others that are also enjoyable. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky, where flavor is the crime, and you're enjoying every bite. And I will say this: my co-host, sometimes he has his sister's dog over, and he gets him some Wild Ranger dog treats. Absolutely loves them. I also dig on the jerky, the beef sticks. They're excellent. And they've been a sponsor with Belly Up for the longest time, but we decided to dig our heels into the snack game on No Credentials Required. So you can use promo code NOCREDS at checkout. Get 15% off your order plus free shipping for all orders of $50 or more. And just like every one of our affiliate sponsors on No Credentials Required, they get the No Credentials Required seal of approval. There's puppers.
Nice.
One of our mascots. Love us some puppers.
Our mascots are some Korner Booth mascot somewhere. He's patrolling.
Mine's on my sister's bed right now because he's hanging out with her. All right, our most notable performance or performances of the week, and I'll lead off with this one. I got a few. Rico Dowdle, once cast off from the Dallas Cowboys, now currently running back one for the Carolina Panthers with Chuba Hubbard out with an injury. 23 rushes, 206 yards, longest run of the day, 53 yards, and a touchdown, to go along with 3 receptions for 28 yards as Carolina beat Miami If you need to do something, you want to beat Miami, run the ball. The Jets did it, although they didn't beat them. They did it, almost 200 yards rushing. Carolina Panthers, Rico Dowdle alone had 206 yards in that game. Defensively, Houston locking it down against a weakened Baltimore squad, 207 yards total allowed. Cooper Rush sacked once but forced to throw 3 interceptions. And I have an honorable mention and an apology for CJ Stroud. Last week, I thought actually 2 weeks ago, I asked in the biggest takeaway from week 3 that I asked if we were seeing the real-time regression of CJ Stroud. I have to eat my words, especially at this game against Baltimore.
Give it a week. Let's see him play a defense that hasn't given up on the season.
I'm going to give him his flowers for this week. 23 of 27. Efficient game. 244 yards, 4 touchdowns passing. So this week I'm giving his flowers. We'll see what happens next week. As let's see who the Texans playing next week. Or they're in a bye week next week. So you got a week to chill out, relax. So that's my most notable performances of the week. Jared, how about yourself?
I got 2. I will give my flowers to Dak Prescott. 18-29, 237, 4 tutties, and a win over the Jets. And my rookie of the year pick right now for offense, Emeka Egbuka, 163 through the air on 7 catches for a touchdown. Dude is unbelievable. Like he's sensational. Every time Egbuka touches the ball, like the respect he was getting against Philadelphia 2 weeks ago, they had Quinyon shadow him the entire game. They weren't worried about Godwin or Shepard. They were like focusing solely on Egbuka. This kid's special. So
yeah. When Mike Evans decides to hang him up, they got a wide receiver at the future with Egbuka.
Oh, yeah.
That kid's
phenomenal.
amazing.
Kid's phenomenal.
Had some nice catches against the Jets in week 3.
He's like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he's a field stretcher, which is crazy. It's a crazy combination.
Yeah. He's got some wheels on him. That's for sure. All right, our biggest takeaways from Week 5 of the NFL, and I'm going to give you the pleasure of the honor, Jared, of giving us your biggest individual takeaway from Week 5 of the NFL.
My biggest takeaway there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that are Super Bowl contenders.
Okay, go ahead. Who are they?
In the AFC, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Buffalo Bills. And in the NFC, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, and the Green Bay Packers. Now, you're saying, Jared, what about Indy? Yes, I threw Indy there as a surprise 7th. Here's the problem with the rest of these teams. Indy has figured out if they play okay defense and run the football, Daniel Jones is good. And I don't know if they're going to win. I still think Buffalo is the premier team, but you're looking at all the teams that kind of fell away. We talked about it already. I don't think the Chiefs got it this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is like one of the down years for them. They may re-up or they may not. We don't know. Buffalo is still the best team in the AFC. Let's pump the brakes on it. They are still there. Jacksonville is a sneaky team. Their defense is phenomenal. Lawrence is playing relatively mistake-free football. I said relatively. And they're running the football effectively. And Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter are only going to get better with this offense. So they scare me. And the NFC, we know what the defending champs can do, and they're only going to get better. Detroit, that offense is incredible. I thought Ben Johnson was going to be the difference maker. No. They're still scary, and they're coming for Green Bay. Tampa's that other team that's like they're so scrappy. They don't like to lose. They're never out of a game because they are that kid who plays Madden, tries to just find ways to not like lose all game. Then when he realizes he's losing, he turns it on and drops 14 on you in a quarter. Like 2 bang touchdowns. And you're like, oh wait, we're losing. What the hell happened? Are they opportunistic? Yes. Do they have to win every game in the last drive? Yes. But I still would be in fear of them as an NFC team. And last but not least in the NFC is Green Bay. Now, bear in mind, I am lesser on Green Bay than I was 2 weeks ago. Before the Dallas game, I thought they were going to run Dallas off the map. And they couldn't put him away. And I started to think about this. Like, there's some holes in this Green Bay team. And one of them is the fact that everyone keeps overlooking the fact their quarterback is not a top 10 quarterback.
Nope.
Like physical talent, he's there. But up top, decision making, he's not there. And their defense does have some holes in it on the back end. So I gotta make it a little obvious here. I think Green Bay and Indy are those two fringe teams where I'm like I would still take Detroit and Philadelphia and Tampa over Green Bay, but they're there. Same thing where I'd take Jacksonville and Buffalo over Indy, but I'd still put Indy as a fringe team. The rest of the teams behind them, they're going to need to get a piece. So those are my 7 teams that have a shot to win the Super Bowl. That's it. If you want your money, there's where your money is. Unless somebody makes a ridiculous turnaround or makes a crazy trade, this is it.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway, and I'm gonna get to the comments in a moment or two because we got some interesting comments in there. I have a question about the AFC though. Is the AFC wide open?
Yes.
Think about it. Think about this for a second. Bills are supposed to dominate the East. They're flawed.
Mm-hmm.
They still need a wide receiver 1, not a wide receiver 1 by committee. And New England exposed them on Sunday night. And you could argue Miami did on Thursday night the week before or 2 weeks before. In the Central, Baltimore's broken. Cincinnati was in trouble the moment Joe Burrow went down. The Browns are the Browns. And those 3 teams have left that door wide open for the Steelers to for this aging Steelers team to walk in and sneak in the first place. AFC South, which I thought was the worst division in football coming into this year, is actually minus Tennessee might be the best division in football. Might be for now.
I rate you
5 weeks
West,
in.
but...
5 weeks in. It might be the best division in football with the Jaguars and Colts at 4-1 apiece. And Texans might be starting to turn the corner. We don't know. Defensively, they're good, but offensively, they still have things to figure out. But they played a team that in the Ravens that gave up this week. And fun fact, if the playoffs were to start today, if the playoffs were to start today, the Indianapolis Colts would be the 1 seed. Yeah. Indy would be the first. Indy would be the 1 seed. Buffalo the 2 seed. Jaguars would be a 4 seed.
I have the hat. We could do this.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is there's for Mr. DJ Stewart when he has to buy a Daniel Jones jersey. So,
yeah. Then there's the West. The West is a 3-way gunfight between the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. Although I still think the Chargers could win the division. Even in their 2-game slide, the injuries are starting to rack up. And Amarian Hampton's going to be on the IR. He'll be out for at least 4 weeks, which is sad because he was starting to emerge. He was starting to emerge as I think he'd be a Rookie of the Year candidate for sure in the AFC. Buffalo was the prohibitive favorite in the minds of a lot of pundits to be the AFC Super Bowl representative. But right now, after week 5, after 5 weeks, it's anyone's conference at the moment, minus a few teams like Miami, my Jets, Tennessee, Las Vegas. Good Lord. And I hope in the next 4 weeks, we'll start to see some separation, but I won't be shocked if we're still at this point 4 weeks from now in November. And it's just a wide open conference where some teams still have some holes to fill. Some teams could be playing great. Some teams could be playing terrible.
Yeah.
But this season has the potential to be just I mean, NFL seasons in the past have been pretty crazy. This season in particular in the AFC East, in the AFC period, after 5 weeks, it's anybody's guess who's going to be the representative for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is why I love the NFL season, because if you said to me week 4 of last year, hey, Philadelphia is going to go and they're going to win and they're going to blow out Kansas City, I'm like, really? This team? The team who just put out John Ross as one of their starting wide receivers? I love John Ross. John, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have believed you. I would have been like, they barely beat Cleveland the week after. But then I started to see like the fibers. I started to see the support system when they go in and they beat Cincinnati. They they beat Baltimore well. They beat Pittsburgh. They survive the division game against Washington. They only lose to Washington the second time because Devontae Smith dropped the ball and Jalen Hurts' bell got wrong. So, like, you start to see, like, I knew we were winning the Super. I had a gut feeling we were winning the Super Bowl when Tanner McKee lit up the Cowboys for 4 touchdowns. I was like, all right, well, that's it. Even our backup smoking teams, we're done. We're just but, and then we almost lost to Green Bay in the first round. I was like, yikes! All right, but yeah, this is the NFL we know and love. It's like you can kind of tell who the final 7-8 teams are, but I don't know. I think we're pretty locked in. I do not trust Pittsburgh long term with execution. I do think if they want me to take them seriously, keep utilizing the backfield of Gainwell and Warren. I think that backfield combination is disgusting.
Yeah.
And the defense is only going to, as long as the defense stays healthy, they're going to be contenders. So I'll give Kevin some love here. I do think they are a possibility as that 4th team in the AFC.
Yeah, you did say don't underestimate the Steelers. I mean, these are the next 2 games are against the Browns and the Bengals each.
Oh yeah, so they'll be 6-1.
Then they had the Packers, the Colts, and the Chargers.
They'll probably lose to the Colts, probably lose to the Packers. They'll probably beat the Chargers though. I think the Chargers are done. I think the Chargers are done until they get. They're going to be a wild card team, possibly, but the injuries just basically put them on a 4-week back burner.
I had them winning the West. That's just me though. That was me. But
I did too. Listen. I had the Raiders being a playoff team. Airball.
Oof.
I thought Gino was just going to grip it and rip it like he was in Seattle, but like, dude, he's no receivers and it's killing him.
Outside of Brock Bowers, he's got no receivers to throw.
I know, and it's like, if they ended up if they're able to get like one of these guys at the deadline, then yes, like they're legit. I also think Chip Kelly should stay in college.
Yeah. Kevin also says Chuba Hubbard is awesome though. Although saved my fantasy football season last year, Panthers must have an underrated O-line. Yeah, I mean,
I'll give him that.
Yeah, I thought the Panthers were going to finish second in the NFC South this year. I thought they were going to have there's still time to turn it around. I mean, 1 week they look great. The next week they're the worst team. They looked at the worst team in the NFL. Yeah. And he also says the Ravens are totally ravaged with injuries. Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, once this team heals up, I think they'll get it and go. I think they'll get it going. But right now, it's not looking great. It's not looking great.
So, you want to hear an amazing stat before we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Micah Parsons only has 4 solo tackles this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know who has more with 5? Jamar Chase.
Ooh. My goodness.
From Jake Browning interceptions.
That's ridiculous.
That is a real stat, by the way. Shout out to our boy DJ Stewart from Hilo Sports for sending me that. But
yes,
wow,
the chat GPT of Belly Up Sports.
My god,
yeah.
I call him the Neuralink. I think he's like closer to like Daniel Jeremiah and all those dudes. Just like just his brain works differently when it comes to football. But yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, we got a couple segments left. We got to go over. I got to go over the Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge for the end of Week 5.
Because I cut the breaks! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
So here's what happened this week in Week 5 for our Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge. Dustin did not hit any of his picks.
Looking like my parlay from Sunday at the 1 o'clock slots, Dustin. Woof!
he went over this week. He had the Bills. He had the Cardinals, and his upset pick was the Browns. Although I will say he came close all 3 times, and unfortunately, none of them panned out. So he gained a big old goose egg this week. I mean, it was 10-9 going into this week for me in my favor, but he remains at 9. As for me, my pick for the Rams did not fare well, but my Colts pick came out gangbusters. And then last night's win for the Jacksonville Jaguars gained me an extra point for my upset pick because the Chiefs were favored by 2.5 going into this game. So I gain an extra point. So I get 3 points this week. So I'm up 13-9. And this our Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge. It is presented by Royal Retros, King of Throwbacks. Use promo code NOCREDS at checkout, and you get 15% off your order, plus free shipping for every order over $100. So check out their gear. If you love retro, if you love teams that never existed or only existed for a little bit, you'll love their gear. So royalretros.com. Royal Retros, the king of throwbacks, and that's our cut the break. That's our cut the breaks pick 'em challenge for week 5.
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
All right, before we get out of here, it's episode 72 of No Credentials Required for the year 2025. And we are talking about our favorite athletes to wear the number that corresponds with the number of the episode. So we're going to talk about the favorite athletes to wear the number 72. Dustin did not get me one in time for the show, but I'm pretty sure he would have selected the man who currently wears number 72 for the Seattle Seahawks as Al. It's Al. I think it's Al Lucas, or hang on, I'm looking right now. Abraham Lucas, Al Lucas. I'm thinking of from Arena Football back in the day, but yeah, Abraham Lucas, offensive tackle, currently wears number 72 for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm pretty sure he would have picked them, but I'm gonna let my esteemed guest for the night.
I was going to ask you to go first because I might have an amendment to mine.
All right, you want me to go first?
Go for it.
All right, I'll go first then. So he's got Jared's got an amendment. My favorite number 72. I mean, honorable mention. Refrigerator Perry, love that guy growing up. 85 Bears, one of my favorite football teams of all time. But my other favorite athlete to wear number 72, that is number 72 for the Florida Panthers, goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky, two-time Stanley Cup winner with Florida, two-time Vezina Trophy winner, two-time All-Star, currently has 429 career regular season wins in his career with the Philadelphia Flyers, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the aforementioned Florida Panthers. He has the potential to join an esteemed club of 500 wins in his career. The only ones with 500 regular season wins in the NHL history are Martin Brodeur, who leads the pack with, I believe, 608 total wins in his career, Patrick Waugh, and Marc-Andre Fleury, who I believe is in his he signed a PTO contract with Pittsburgh after Minnesota let him walk, but Marc-Andre Fleury, part of the Penguins dynasty back in the 2000s, played with biggest Golden Knights, and spent the last 2 seasons with the Minnesota Wild. So those are the only goaltenders in the NHL history to hit the 500 career win mark, and Sergei Bobrovsky could join that club by 2027, 2028. He's currently at 429, so he's got 71 more to go. He could certainly do that. And I'm going to hand it over to my guest here, who is going to give his number 72.
So I something in my brain was telling me, like, there's an Eagles player that you love that wore 72. I was like, oh yeah. So from my childhood, it would have been Trey Thomas, left tackle for the Eagles for years, from I believe from 1998 to 2008. But there was one that was a little more important because this guy helped us win our first Super Bowl. That'd be Big V, Halapulavati Vaitai. Came in for Jason Peters when he tore his Achilles in, I think, week 7 against the Panthers in 2017, and was our anchor left tackle every time Peters got hurt from then until 2019. He was the predecessor to, obviously, our boy Jordan Mailata. Big V was a essential stalwart on that offensive line that helped us win our first Super Bowl. So Big V, will always love you in Philly. Thank you.
All right. Apparently, there's a comment incoming from Kevin. Oh, there it is. He said nothing for Fleury. False alarm. Haha. But we have someone in our chat. She hasn't joined us the last couple of shows. She's from Alabama, and she always throws a random Alabama Crimson Tide football player in the chat in regards to our favorite athletes to wear number 72, or to wear the corresponding number with the episode. So she's not in the chat tonight, but I'm pretty sure in the comments on the Belly Up YouTube side, she'll leave her favorite number 72, and she's always referencing. Of course, Bama fans, they always reference the Saban years, and you can't blame them. God, I mean, it's so many great players from that era. who are currently who have either played in the NFL or are currently playing in the NFL. So I'm pretty sure.
Play for my team.
Or played for the University of Miami. That's true.
No, I say play for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Or for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Have a roster either Georgia or Philly guy, Georgia or Alabama guys.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. One more thing before we get out of here. I want to mention Dustin's Extra Life fundraiser. He is for I believe the 8th straight year. He is helping raise funds through a charity called Extra Life, where he's raising funds for one of our local children's hospitals, the Duker Children's Hospital at Albany Medical Center. I'm sure you've heard his story. His mom passed away from cancer close to it'll be 10 years pretty soon. In 2018, he lost his mom to cancer, and he says that my mission to do this is to make sure that nobody else has to do this, especially children, which is why he is on a mission to raise funds for a local children's hospital. And what he does is what he's going to do on November 8th is he's going to attempt to play video games for 24 hours straight, with a few breaks here in between, here and there in between.
That's wild. My eyeballs and my attention span would go out the window by about hour 5.
I applaud him for his efforts. I mean, I did a live stream last week for the Jets Dolphins game. I was on the air for almost 3.5 hours, and I felt it afterwards, but felt like a car wreck. But 24, you're going to attempt to play 24 consecutive hours of video games to raise money for a local children's hospital through Extra Life. So fundraiser link is down here on screen. You can also just go to extra-life.org, look for Dustin Henry in the player search, and you can also join him on November 8th, Saturday, November 8th, starting at 9 a.m. on his Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/eldusto67. But I did ask him our last episode if he's going to do some test streams beforehand, just to kind of get his skills sharp, just to make sure and also just to make sure the capture is capturing correctly and streaming to the platform correctly. So you might see him do some test streams before between now and Saturday, November 8th. So he won't be on the live show on Saturday, November 8th. So I might call in another favor with Jared. You never know who we're going to bring on for the next show.
If I'm around, I'll let you know.
All right. I'll send a gentle reminder, but I'll send the bat signal like you do with me. So, but yes, extra-life.org. Look for player search. Look for Dustin Henry in the player search. He's aiming for, I believe, $1,500, and he's met his goal pretty much. He's met his goal every year since he started doing this particular activity for a fundraiser. So, I'll be stopping by, playing some Fall Guys at some point during the night, bringing him some beers, bringing him some snacks, just to keep him going. But yes, Dustin's doing a great thing for the community, and doing something fun while he's out. He's doing something fun to raise that money. So yes, extra-life.org. Player search Dustin Henry. Also join him on the November 8th show. Twitch.tv/eldusto67. All right, we're gonna wrap things up. Just a brief moment, but before that, Jared, let me give you the opportunity to plug your stuff. Ding. Go ahead. Oh, hang on.
I mean, McCarthy.
I was wrong. I hit the wrong button.
It's all good. All right, you can find me and the Krusty Crew over at all things Korner Booth Pod. That's everything from X to YouTube to TikTok to Instagram, Facebook, everything in between. You can find me at Belly Up Jared. I don't really post much. I just retweet mostly Belly Up stuff. I'm more active on the Korner Booth Pod Twitter itself. And, of course, you can find me on Instagram at Korner Booth Jared. But, once again, more just retweeting Belly Up stuff. My personal accounts are just there, so I don't look like a bot. I literally just run mine through the actual Korner Podcast accounts at this point.
Yes, the Korner Booth, their live shows on Monday and on Thursdays, which is their pregame episode. We can find me sometimes there doing with my nonsense.
Special show this week. We're starting at 6:15 and we're ending at 7:30 this week. Special reasons. One, yes, being obviously Eagles Giants will be obviously later that night, but also I've got some stuff I got to take care of after the show that I couldn't move. So earlier show Thursday. Stop in. We're going to have a fun time out there. A little probably less alcohol consumption than we usually do, but still going to be a good time either way.
It's always a good time. It's always a good time when I stop by or I stop in the chat just to say, MILF, man, I love football, but I hate Woody Johnson. Dr. Lady stopping by saying, great show, guys. Thanks for stopping by, Dr. Lady. We appreciate it. Before we get out of here, just want to remind all y'all watching or listening to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. Check out our other podcasts like Korner Booth and our written articles at bellyupsports.com. You can also subscribe to the podcast on any audio platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, our YouTube channel, and on Podbean, which is our host, and hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube so you know when our shows go live, when you know the show announcements that go up, or just some video clips that go up from the show, because this program will be broadcast.
I'm subscribed. Are you?
Yes, Jared subscribed. You should have subscribed too. But this show will be tomorrow. We'll be on replay tomorrow on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel around 2 p.m., 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern time. So you definitely want to hit the notification bell on the Belly Up YouTube site and subscribe there as well. All right. Thank you again for joining us on No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. For Jared, I'm Ryan McCarthy. We'll be back here Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Talk about Thursday night's game between Jared's Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Football Giants, as well as preview the rest of NFL Week 6. Have a great week, everyone. See you on Saturday. Have a great night. Or as Dustin likes to say, good night, everybody.
Go Birds!
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.